Day marker, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre review, guys. Let's get right to it. Netflix film. Action. Oh, God. All right, let's get right to it. Texas Chainsaw Massacre review. Hope y'all ready for this. You ready for this, Angela?
No.
All right, let's get right to it, guys. Stay tuned. What's going on, Alamo City Movie Talk fans? I'm Ryan D, aka Ryan680.
I'm Angela, that cat lady Ange.
And this is Alamo City Movie Talk. Movie Talk for movie fans, guys. Thank you so much. If you have not already, hit that subscribe button. Give us a like on this review, guys. And let's get right to it. Let's break it down. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, a true sequel from the 1974 version from the original film. This movie was actually originally supposed to be Legendary. I believe this was Legendary Pictures, and it got sold to Netflix. Now, with that being said and everything, I mean, we're not going to go too much into spoilers because it's pretty much the same concept, really, in reality here.
Same story.
Same story, pretty much. It
50 years later.
Yeah, 50 years later. It's definitely they add a lot of our current situation. And what I mean by current situation,
current culture, and current sayings that just really irritate me. It's definitely Gen Z-ish.
Oh God. Yeah.
No knock on Gen Z, but it's not a spoiler. It's 4 influencers who come from out of town and go back to Harlow, and
they're just
influencers,
like,
right?
It's just very. They're just small town businesses, and they really take over the town. It's like they're really just
trying to take over the town, this ghost town, gentrifying almost in a sense. It's definitely a little bit of a parallel to current.
And the whole concept of this just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, the whole story just flops. The action flops. Now I gotta give it to him though. It's very this movie just feels so unrealistically together. It just feels like these are let's throw this in there. No, wait, that didn't work. Let's just throw this in there. Okay, that situation didn't work. All right, we're still gonna make this happen. I just feel like there was too many ideas that made it to the film. You know, you have that movie where we're just like, okay, we're gonna throw this, and then half of the ideas are cut, right? No, with this one, it just felt like everything was just thrown in there, off the wall action sequences, and it just felt very. It just felt very forced and unnatural in a horror movie. Like the horror movie and that's the thing too. This movie really tried to carry out that horror element of the Great Texas Chainsaw Massacre that came out in 1974, and it's just like, okay, I know everyone likes to talk about the Jessica Biel one. I enjoy that one for what it is. It's very cheesy, but that's like the early 2000s. I enjoyed that movie for what it was. It's not the greatest film, but I'm gonna say it's better than this one we just saw. And we saw it in the trailers, where they're like, where literally the Texas Chainsaw Massacre comes in the bus, and it's like he's like coming in, and the people are bringing out their phones, and they're just like, again, we're canceling him. It's like, Jesus,
the current climate we have, the current culture we have. Anyways, so to preface this, I didn't watch the original 1974 one, so I'm not too familiar. Kind of read a quick summary of what happened in that first film, and it does tie a little bit back to this
it does.
one.
The
it's
character,
50 years. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not into the gore like that. Like, I'm not into slasher films or gore like that. And I feel like I didn't like the gore in this one either. Like, it was so forced and silly, almost comical.
Even the way that they were dying was just weird. It was just a weird, like, this is probably like, it was just very unartistic. It was very unfilmmaking to make these scenes. And it just felt like, I don't know if anyone was on set was just like, oh yeah, that's not gonna work. Let's just try here. We're just gonna, or if they were just like, we're just gonna leave it because we're under budget. It's just like, it felt very, just, why did this make it on the end game? Like, why was this the end result of this movie idea or this ideology or whatever you want to call it? It was just to me, that was just kind of a dumb concept. To be honest, what I would say for this movie, guys, for 2022, if they really wanted to make the same ideas, they should have had a millennial crew, not Gen Z, or at least older, around our age, and film a documentary there. And then that's when the documentary turns into like this, people start dying off. That would have been better. Again, that's just my story arc there. Totally. That would have been more realistic. Like, we're filming. We're going to film this, like, back in the day that this happened.
It's definitely like, I wanted the cast to be a little bit older. We don't really get their ages per se, but they're fairly young, right?
And the story's just terrible. As far as story characters develop, there's no character development. There's no story development. It just feels very dull and just...
Well, for me, I feel like part of throwing a lot of our current things that are happening in our current times in there, they touch on, it's not really a spoiler, but they touch on like one of the characters affected by a school shooting.
Yeah.
And they put that in there several times, but they don't do anything to develop.
It doesn't get any emotional grasp. It doesn't really grasp on us. It doesn't really have that emotional take that it's supposed to. Because I'm pretty sure they wanted to create that emotional connection. It's supposed to be a
traumatic event that one of the characters goes through, and she's essentially reliving it with this horror of this Leatherface running around.
Yeah.
And again, it didn't hit the mark for me.
No, it didn't.
A lot of the things they're putting in there was just to, I don't know, if make fun of our current culture, just touch up on it. I don't know. But it didn't make the mark on me for those things. The cast, okay acting. The story, I'm sorry.
The story was terrible.
It was
I'm going to say it was terrible.
Great.
It was terrible. I didn't like it.
It was so predictable.
Yeah, very predictable.
I feel like, I think halfway through I already knew how the movie was going to end.
The whole scenario of like, let's just throw everything in there. Everything we're going through right now, we're just going to throw it all in there. Politics, let's just throw it in there. I'm surprised they didn't put someone else in there. That was our past president in there. Like, that would have been crazy.
The story failed for me big time. I wish it could have been a better thought out story. Again, it is the same plot, but it's not that. That's what gets me. It's just all those little details that make this a new or fresh story. Mm-hmm. That is where I wish it was better.
It really creates this unrealistic Texas situation to where like the ritual. So like the whole ritual of like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. There's a certain situation that he takes on that mask and creates that mask. He cuts out someone's face. But in this one, it just felt so forced. It wasn't really like, okay, we're just going to do it here. It just, what? There was usually there's like some type of ritual or some type of element or some type of tragedy that really bestows upon the guy that plays the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and really creates that whole horror and scary creepiness to it, and then he puts it on, and that's when he becomes, it just, I don't know.
I mean, there tragedies in there, but it's, again, not as strong as I had hoped that. Again, definitely. I haven't seen the original one. I don't know all the finer points of that, but
I could tell you, I've seen the original, forced, and I could tell you,
maybe rushed in a sense. I felt like it could have been a lot better in a lot of aspects, and I was disappointed. Again, I'm not into slasher gore films, but even for me, this was not that great.
This movie came out to be an hour and 21 minutes, which it felt longer. I don't know why. It did feel longer. I'll give it to this. I'll give it to the guys, the creative team on the creative side. The gore was really good. I enjoyed the gore.
I didn't like
the gore was really good. I really thought that was really done. Not bad. Not savvy.
There were some moments with the gore and stuff that I'm just like, really?
I know, because you're not into it, but let's go to ratings. Ratings 1 out of 10, 10 being the highest. Angela, what do you give this rating?
2.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to be a solid 2 there, just because for me it was just the gore, and I wanted to really to be honest, I really wanted to go in there because I went in with an open mind. I was like, okay, this is a sequel from the original. Let's just see if it's maybe at least okay to watch and recommend. But obviously with us giving those poor scores there, we do not recommend this movie. But if you do love the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and you just love the whole franchises as far as like the whole movie, because this is like so many different adaptations here. I mean, 8th or 9th. It just, let's be honest here. It just, if you're gonna go into with an open mind and just know that it's probably gonna be cringe worthy, of course. I do apologize. It's just, again, this is just our take on it. Yeah, it needs to carry that whole horror element that I really do love that films need to capture, especially with a huge franchise and a huge fan base for horror movie guys, because I can guarantee you there's way more diehard horror movie fans that are just hardcore into this franchise way more than we are, way more deep than we are, and I feel like this is really gonna upset them. Again, that's just my point of opinion, guys. Put it in the comments down below. Maybe you enjoyed this movie so much. Tell us in the comments down below. Prove us wrong, guys. But if you did not, let us know, and we'll share that that heartbreaking element there. But yeah, guys, all right, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys so much for making us a part of your day. And if you haven't already, check out our other videos, guys. As always, I'm your host, Ryan D, aka Ryan680.
I'm Angela, that cat lady Ange.
And this is Alamo City Movie Talk, guys. Once again, hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching. Have yourself a wonderful day. Check you later.